What a liberation to realize that the voice in my head is not who I am. Who am I then? The one who sees that. Within us there is a wisdom, a knowing, a sense of awareness that we have about ourselves that shines brighter when we strip away the noise of our thoughts. When we practice silence and stillness, we can start to dial into this wisdom. Leading today from our intuition, I invite you to practice this slow-paced, lower back-focused asana with me, practicing both stillness in the body and stillness in the mind. I'll meet you on your backside when you are ready. Beginning here with your knees in towards the chest, notice if it feels best for you to have the fingers interlaced or holding on to respective shins. Wherever you choose to be here, ground into the back, allow the eyes to dial down and the shoulders to rest with ease. Allow the toes to soften, and when you are ready, breath to start coming and going through the nose. Begin to feel greater expansion in the lungs as you inflate. Feel the stomach rise, and then notice the softness as every breath exits your body. Begin to connect with the rhythm of inhales and exhales that will serve you in this practice today. And notice if your mind can really connect to every sensation of that air and breath flowing through you. Allow this sensation to keep you present, to bring your mind back to this stillness, this space, whenever it tries to take you away. With this smooth rhythm of inhales and exhales in your body, gently begin to welcome soft movement. Maybe your eyes remain closed, or perhaps the eyelids flutter open. Starting our class here today, we will warm up or prepare the body before eventually holding postures for a little longer. Starting here by rounding out in the hips, pointing and flexing into the feet if that feels good. And then allowing the right knee to stay close to your chest, extending the left leg really long. Allow the heel of the left foot to rest onto the mat. Then begin to prepare into the right hip by rounding out into the leg, making gentle semicircles. Eventually, when you are ready to find stillness, allow the right knee to stay open as high towards the right shoulder as possible, with a gentle flexion into the right foot. Hip bones face upwards, and breath gently moves through you. With every exhale, envision that your right knee can melt closer to the earth, sliding down the side body. With your next inhale, straighten it into the right leg and reach it towards the sky as we acknowledge the backside of this leg just for a few rounds of breath. Option to bend into the left knee to soften, or draw the hands closer towards the right ankle to go deeper. Using an exhale breath, we start to switch on to the left side. Right leg is long and straight rested, left knee in towards the chest, rounding out for a few semicircles to prepare into the hip, before staying in stillness with the left knee nice and wide, melting towards the earth, sliding down the torso. Hip bones face upwards, shoulders are relaxed, body is soft, and breath is strong. Using an inhale to straighten in the left leg, reach it towards the sky, holding on where it feels best with an optional bend to the right leg. Using your next exhale to release that foot down, feet onto the earth, both knees bent, and then dropping both knees down to the right side. Keeping your foot distance wide here, allow this to be a nice stretch into the hips. trying to keep your shoulders and torso facing upwards, especially feeling this release into the left side as both knees melt a little closer down towards the right. Use an inhale to lift the knees back up to center and then gently draw them down to the left. An inhale brings you back up to center, knees are bent, feet are grounded. Take a moment to completely connect the spine to the earth. Actively draw the navel to the back, root into the feet. Connecting here deeply with your breath, each vertebrae as flat and connected to the ground as can be. Feeling the activity into your core as you continue to press your back into the earth. Take one more inhale, one more exhale. And then decide if you would like to stay as you are or transition instead to a held bridge position, lifting the hips upwards, firing up into the glutes and the thighs, finding a deep curve into the spine and fire in your body to hold you in this lifted backside position. Using a soft and gentle exhale, lower the back and allow the knees to follow every inhale and exhale, dropping from right to left to release into the lower back, the glutes, and the hips. As you do this, observe your body, reflect on how those first few moments went, inviting some thoughts for a moment to dial into how this felt. What messages did your body send? What energy levels are landing with you here on your mat today? Using this knowledge to make our way into the rest of our practice very intentionally as we connect more deeply instead to breath, trusting our body will guide us to what we most need. Our first held posture here is designed for the right hip to really stretch it out. Option to stay here on your back in supported figure 4 with the left foot on the ground. Option 2 is to hover the left leg, maybe threading the needle. And option number 3 is to lift your body up, coming to half pigeon. Knowing that there is no correct form to find. Maybe today your body finds one shape, on a different day in the same practice you may be somewhere else. Choosing whatever form feels best in your body, looking for a stretch into the right hip. When you have found your pose, allow the eyes to dial down and your breath to flow through you as intentionally and mindfully as you can. At the halfway point of this first held position, I invite you to notice how your thoughts have fared. Has your mind been noisy, or have you been able to land here with a few moments of stillness? If the thoughts have been wandering, I invite you to try on a tool that is helpful for me in my practice. Envisioning that when thoughts come into your mind, that they pass by like clouds overhead, that using an exhale breath, you are able to bring in some gentle wind that floats them away, giving you space to stay with stillness. Very gently and slowly keeping hold of your intentional breathing. When you next inhale, start to transition out of the pose you have taken, and begin to prepare for the left side, taking any rebounding activities in between, eventually finding yourself either in half pigeon on the left, reversed figure 4, or figure 4 threaded needle. Again, softening the body and the mind to the best of your ability, focus on deep and intentional breaths that flow through you, perhaps once again envisioning any thoughts that make their way onto your mat as transforming into clouds overhead that you can strongly and intentionally exhale away. Enjoying one final breath in the pose you have chosen, and then very gently and mindfully beginning to transition your way out. Allow your body to take subtle and gentle movements to rebound from that time spent still as we start to think about the next pose we will hold. I offer you again two choices: to either stay upright and make your way into frog pose, or if you'd prefer a little more softness, if your knees are feeling particularly sensitive, I invite you to stay on the backside or make your way there, and we can instead find backside frog. No matter what variation of this pose you've chosen, the knees and the hips will be aligned, the shins will be parallel to each other, and the feet flexed. If on your backside, holding onto the outsides of the legs will give you more support, bringing your hands inside the thighs will deepen you. If upright in frog, noting that the weight of your body and gravity will continue to offer more depth, so being mindful to protect your groin and using your forearms for support. When you feel ready to do so, with eyes closed, find stillness and deeply connect with your fullest breath. Wrapping this pose up with one final breath before you start to gently wiggle, coming out of it. If you've been on your backside, gently making your way up to a comfortable seated position. If in frog already, transition your way up. With the left leg crossed on top of the right, we start to move through Sophie circles. Exhaling your chest down towards the right thigh, scoop it across to the left, and then inhale to come back up tall. Doing this 4 more times at your own slowest pace, checking that both sit bones stay rooted, that your spine remains long, and that your breath is guiding you through these movements. Feeling a release in the hips and lower back. Allow this to feel like a smooth, round transition in your body. When your 5 have completed, crossing the opposite ankle on top. Now we have right on top of left. Drop the chest down towards the left thigh, scoop across to the right, inhale to sit up tall. 4 more as slowly as you can, as mindfully and as intentionally keeping your back long and both sit bones grounded towards the earth. From here, we make our way into seated butterfly. Drawing the soles of the feet together, choosing the distance that they land from your groin, this will control the intensity. The further the feet away, the softer this will feel. We're holding in this pose, feeling a stretch once again in the inner thighs and outer hips. If you have space and desire more depth, begin to fold forward. Whatever variation you have chosen here, either with a tall back spine or a soft bend forward, allow the eyes to close and your breath to flow through you. Invite it to the spaces that are feeling the deepest stretch as you scan the body to look for opportunities to get softer, to release, to let go. Using your next exhale to go as deeply as you can here, before an inhale transitions you out of butterfly pose as we come into a twist. Your left leg lengthens, bending into the right knee, foot either inside the thigh or crossed over. Begin to rotate the torso towards the right. Using your left arm as a leverage point and your right arm for support, stay long into the back. Twisting from the center body, perhaps you begin to gaze backwards. Looking for every exhale to coil you a bit deeper. Soften where possible and continue to breathe fully. Finding an inhale to twist you out of this pose, switching sides. Right leg is long, left knee is bent, choosing either inside or outside the leg for positioning, and then beginning to rotate towards the left. Remember to lengthen in the back, root evenly into the seat, and twist from the mid-body. Doing your best to use your exhales to twist deeper rather than applying too much pressure using the arms. Trying your best to stay relaxed into the shoulders and soft wherever possible. With your next exhale coming out of this pose, coming into our staff position where we inhale, reach the arms high, exhale to fold forward. 2 straight long legs. You can choose to either fold and stay here, or if movement calls to you more, continue to inhale and lift, exhale to fold. Noting that if your body is hovering quite a bit here, drawing support underneath you through a bolster or a block may help to find softness. Looking for stillness as we acknowledge the back sides of the legs and the lower spine. Do your best to stay still as you mindfully breathe in and out. Inviting a breath in to one vertebrae at a time, draw your shoulders and spine upright. Placing your palms behind you, shine the heart high. Option to stay just like this, or pressing weight into your heels, lift the hips high for reverse plank. Here for just a few breaths, notice the strength in your body. Feeling the hips high, this is a chance to really lift in the heart space. Finding one more inhale as you breathe out, lower down, making your way onto your back before drawing the knees in towards your chest. Setting up for our final pose here before Shavasana, we are coming into our Supine Twist. Keeping the left knee towards you, right leg extends long. Take a moment to prepare any further into the left hip. Maybe instead choosing to skip this twist, you can keep the left leg nice and wide, feel open, or with the right hand guiding your left knee over towards the right side body. Doing your best to keep both shoulders square and connected to the earth. it's your left hip that really peels off of the mat. A softness in the mid-body allows for a deep twist, noting that to go deeper, you can turn your gaze towards the left hand. To go softer, you can place an object under the left knee. Relaxing where possible, scan the body and welcome a deep and intentional breath. Taking a final inhale and exhale on this side before coming back to center, returning the knees into the chest as we set up for the right. Extending the left leg long, preparing into the right hip. Perhaps you choose to stay with the right knee nice and open. Or when you are ready, coming into that coiled position, left hand guides the right knee over towards the left, peeling your right glute off of the earth, find that twist in the mid-body. Soft in your gaze, intentional in your breath. Feeling the stretch into the right glute, the lower back, perhaps into the right thigh and hamstring. Finding stillness where possible, modifying this pose for you. For a few moments here with stillness, I invite you to breathe deeply. With one final breath here, exhaling to coil as deeply as you can, inhaling to come back to center, drawing both knees in towards your chest, peeling your head and shoulders off of the earth, energetically providing yourself with a deep and intentional hug, squeezing and feeling this energy flow through you. Using your next breath out to softly release, finding your backside, resting into Shavasana. Perhaps allowing the hands to land facing downwards onto the stomach to more deeply connect with every sensation of breath as it comes and goes. very gently and slowly with the eyes still shut, bring some soft movement to the body before you start to transition your way out of this final pose. Perhaps making your way onto your side to reflect for a moment, and then gradually and gently, maybe with eyes still shut, you make your way up to a tall seated position. Taking a moment to sit evenly, to lengthen into the spine. Eventually, we'll bring palms to touch in front of heart center. From here, guiding your thumbs up to the space between your brow where our intuition lands, we acknowledge our practice and this powerful place of knowing that guided us. Taking one final inhale, allowing your breath out to fold you forward. Namaste. Thanking you for joining me in this slow and mindful practice today that gave us the opportunity to physically stretch our body while mindfully exploring the power of our thoughts. Looking forward to seeing you again really soon and wishing you an excellent evening or day ahead.